probably the best magic build in the game, in my opinion. Best class in the game. Stamina and magic. I think we messed it up this time. But this now is ridiculous for damage. Basically, we're going to cover everything in this build. We are going to traits, champion points, food, potions, the whole for shizzle. So basically, we're going to crack this off with stats and boons. So we are going with, right, we should be on higher than that. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, that's why I didn't drink my food. Right, right, so you should be, with food, this should be 21k. 20 is probably decent. Above 30k, Magicka. Stamina you don't need. You only use it for dodge, rolling, sprinting, whatever. Spell critical for PVE with spell damage for spell critical. Spell critical is must for PVE. Spell damage for PvP. Spell critical, if you keep getting crits, you're doing a constant, no matter what, damage, decent damage. It's like the other day I did a dungeon with all the self buffs, everything. With everything on top of that, I'm doing 20k plus molten whip. It's just constant damage. So like I said before, spell critical for PvE, not spell damage. Spell damage, you could boost a little bit, but it ain't gonna make much difference. Spell critical, that is a must. Over 30k Magicka, must. Max health, over 20k, must. And the boon I am running is the Thief to gain more weapon and spell critical strike damage by 3036. Obviously that will boost even more once you start getting the gear you need. I'm still after a few bits for my Dragonite. I'm after the burning spell with legs, chest and divines. So there's that covered. We'll get the boring stuff out of the way first. So champion points, this is key. I did have max CP, but Zos is being a bastard lately and he got rid of 8 champion points from me. Cheers Zos, much appreciated. I do like this game sometimes. Right, so tower, first one, 100, straight into it. 100 in magician. To reduce cost of spells, you'll be constantly casting. Arcanist, 98. Obviously it would be 100. That is probably the best thing you can have for a magic DPS right now. Then once your Morrowind comes out, you'll start putting things into like Arcanist and Magician. And personally, for this build, I would put points into Befoul as well, because you'll be gaining a lot of healing on top of it. Then, now the juicy fun starts. Elf Ball, must. Not major, but a decent amount in Elf Ball. To gain increased damage dealt by spell criticals by 11 or 8%. Okay, you don't want to overdo it because the gear you've got anyway will boost that. Elemental Expert, must have that. That is a key thing to have. Probably put most of your points into that. Spell Erosion, spell penetration is a must as well, because more penetration you do, the more crit damage you do as well. Then Thermachurge, big one. Put that as your third priority. Thermachurge for a Dragonite is a must, because all that engulfing flame, sheer strike, which we'll come to later. Spell shield. See, now this is a good thing to have for a DPS, especially when you're up and close and personal. This, when you have projectiles, healers throwing balls and shit at you, so on and so forth, this comes really handy just not to get one banged. I've had that multiple times when I've played Valadreth and you get the balls of death flying around and you're up front personally concentrating on your rotations, which I did that yesterday and we pissed it. So resilient is a must as well, up close and personal. The boss might turn and strike you and one bang you're out of the game. Light armor focus, again, this is completely down to you. You can put points into it. I do because it gives you more physical resistance. Thick skinned is good as well to have, reduces damage over time effects. If you're up close and personal and you get dizzy swing by a boss, there's one in Blackheart Haven that does that and knocks you off. Also grants damage over time. Bastion, it's completely up to you. You can put points into it. I do anyway because I run PvP quite a bit on this character anyway. But yeah, that's the champion points. Nice and simple, nothing ridiculous and complicated. You preferably want some of the things on top of it. Try and go for the same thing as me, but don't put my word to it. It all depends on your game style. Well, I like probably survivability more than damage. Now we're on to skills. This is where it's interesting because you start off on your back bar. You start with dots. Your constant dots. You always have to put them up, no matter what. With the Dragonite, you do so much damage on top of it. It's practically ridiculous. So, Engulfing Flames. That's the first one you place on until AoE single target. You only cast it once. You sort of try and move your guy to, say, the tree, these two trees that adds. So I would move this way, so you face on with both of them, and then you cast it. That will trigger both of them. So that ad and that ad will both have that effect, the burning effect. So what that does, it grants damage over time, 9,430 flame damage, let alone the burst damage of 1,813. See, if you in more Lolkarsh, what I was doing yesterday, or Maelstrom, what I was doing yesterday as well, you basically put that, Shearing Strike and Inferno all on the same portal. The ad dies before it even gets out. That's how good it is. You melt things with this class. And this might look quite strange that I'm running a tank ability on my DPS, and I'll tell you why. Because it, let alone it keeps them still, it also does damage over time. So not choking talons. Choking talons is solely specific tank roll. That will snare, that will do everything. Where the burning talons, see, this is a flex spot. You could use this or elemental ring. Personally, I like using burning talons. It's less to cast, easier to run, and then you could sort of use that as sort of like a buff timer. So you just constantly go by that. So what this ability does is you have a group full of ads, trash. I mean, it doesn't work on bosses. That's the only thing I would say. I would switch probably this with probably reflective scowl, maybe, just so you keep the projectiles off of you. It all depends. It depends on the situation. Trap Beast is another good one to have. Considering it's a stamina, it'll grant you extra critical damage. Blockade of Fire. Now this is strange because everyone's using Unstable. Yes, it's good, unstable, but Blockade of Fire is good. You could use that of a buff timer as well as choking talons or burning talons. You put that on. So what burning talons does is everything. Straight up damage, 4,248 as well, for 4,740 flame damage over 4 seconds. And this sucker could be up for 13, 14 seconds. Then you get a synergy that activates if someone triggers it for 6,300 damage. That alone is over 12,000. Easy. Period. Just that ability alone with a thing triggered, damage for days. The Blockade of Fire, we all know what that does. Obviously, it's better if you run this with a Maelstrom or a staff. If you haven't got access to a Maelstrom staff, Moon Dancer Sharpened, must have. That is completely must have. I'm still yet to get it. I tried getting it yesterday. The drop is ridiculous rate. It's hard to get. If you ain't got this crafted, normal one will do. Julianos is another good set to have, but with counter sets and all that lot later. Burning Ambers, another dot. So practically all on this bar is dot minus inner light. So shearing Burning Ambers, what that does is straight up damage, 3,804 damage, flame damage, with additional 13,626 flame damage over 10.5 seconds. That is just ridiculous. Sorry, but... And then not only does it do that, it heals you for 75% damage inflicted once the effect ends. You could use this literally if you're getting beaten on. You pop on this magic, if you're doing Maelstrom, you hit this, deep breath, you're fine. You'll get healed. You could constantly scratch. Look at the cast time. The cost of how much it actually does. 930. It's practically pocket change for 30k magically that you'll have. It's just ridiculous. This, and also this build could be Breton, high elf, any magic based thing. It's powerful, it's strong, it hits like a truck, it does everything. Then the ultimate on the back bar, I suggest running Standard of Might. This alone is powerful. It is still powerful, it still does its business. The reason why I do this, I use this on single target boss battles mostly, not Fury Rage. Fury Rage is mostly AoE. It's just simple. If you've got, say, like Sanctum of Ophidia, the last boss, you've got so many ads around you, so many ads, blah blah blah, you've got so many Dragonites. Don't pop Fury Rage. You pop this. You pop Standard of Might, you get the damage bonus, the group gets the damage bonus, everyone gets the damage bonus on flame damage, which is nowadays pretty common. And not only does that, you get major defile, reduces the healing received. And then standing in the standard area, which is quite big considering, it increases your damage done and reduced by 15%. Like, come on guys, it's a must. Sorry, but it is a must. If you don't want to run standard, you just want to go just purely solo play, Shooting Star is personally what I'd use. Then obviously you get Shackle, dealing 5,557 damage, immobilizing all enemies. So that and Burning Talons, they're not moving. It's point blank. Right, that's the second bar. Now we're on to the primary bar. So Flames of Oblivion, once you pop everything you've got, you switch bars. And also, before you switch bars, before you do this, you do charge up heavy, block, that, Burning Ambers. that's when you start getting it. That's how quick it should be. And mind you, my internet's not the best. You should be doing it a lot quicker. A lot quicker. You'll see the DPS increase. So before you switch, once you do all that, light attack, then Flames of Oblivion. This skill is probably single-handedly one of the key factors of the Dragon Knight. You can stand there and it'll fire firebolts, which does 5,578 damage for 5 seconds. And then grants you Major Prophecy, Major Savary. I think it's the only ability in the game. Minor, I think a Nightblade does a similar thing, but it's just so powerful. Spell and weapon critical by 2,191%. I mean, come on. You pop this, you're doing damage twice as much, and all your dots get a buff with it as well. I mean, say you'll be hitting for like 1,000 dot time, right? You pop this, that will go up by a significant amount, by 3,000 at least. Deep Breath. This is another good. I chose Deep Breath rather than the other one, Draw Essence, because I run trials, I run everything with this guy. So you inhale, you'll get magic damage, which ain't a lot, roughly 2k. Then it heals you as well, so it sort of makes up for it. It heals you for the 100% of the damage done. So you pop this and Burning Ambers, you shouldn't be dying. Obviously, like I said, with Burning Ambers, if you are running low, just keep spamming it. Just keep spamming it till the healer sorts himself out. Or if you're doing solo play, claw, 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 heal, deep breath, AoE everything. Take it all out. If it flashes, if the guy's flashing red as well, like he's going to do a heavy attack and you need to bash and you ain't got any stamina, don't know why you wouldn't, but just in case you don't, you pop this, interrupts. And also with the ability on one of the champion points, I think it does extra damage to those who are unbalanced or knocked off. It will do, I think it's like 2,000 extra damage. So you work the maths out. Then Eruption, another dot you need to place. And also with the Flame of Oblivion, it is a dot. It will do burn. It will burn the opponent. It will just burn. Eruption. This ability is decent. I like this ability simply because it does like a AoE snare sort of thing. So what it does is it does an instant 3,645 flame damage to nearby enemies. As soon as you cast that, ads around it will get affected by 3,000 worth of damage. Then, if they are still in that ring, which I'll show you the animation for anyway, 919 damage per second, and it's up for 18 seconds. So that's 4k, 3k worth of damage there within itself. Also snares for 70% of the movement speed. Then Molten Whip. This is your spammable single target ability. This has got a buff since the update. This is so strong now. You could practically sit there and whip, and it will do a ridiculous amount of damage. It's just ridiculous. The damage is scary with the Dragon Knight. It does that. If you strike an enemy that would be immobile or stunned, you set them on off balance. You can also set an enemy off balance once every 5 seconds. And there's a champion point ability where you get bonus damage for that. So you work the maths out. And the bottom one speaks for itself as well. Well slotted, your spell and weapon damage is increased by 101 for entire flame in this tree. So you get extra damage, which we use quite a lot. I'll go through all the things, all the possibles you could do. Inner Light is a must as well. You get the extra magic, you get 5% extra magic. Prophecy, what's there not to like? And then obviously Fury Rage. You only use this on trash. So shit ads. So like if you're doing Blessed Crucible and you got, as soon as you're going to the first gate you get all them ads, that's when you pop it. That's when you take everything out. This with all these dots, they'll die like that. They will die single-handedly. But yeah, that's the skills. So if you didn't want to use Deep Breath, you can use Dragon Blood, maybe, if you really wanted to. Spiked Armor is another good one, but use the ones that shoot out spikes either side. That could be done as a dot as well. I personally use Reflective Scales because, like I said, I do a lot of PvP with this character anyway, because Dragonites are OP as shit. Another one you could use is Stone Fist. See, now with Stone Fist, you could go both ways with this. I've been experimenting with it. Stone Fist is more PvP, but PvE is as good. I mean, it stuns and it deals 100% more damage if you successfully stun a target. I mean, come on. Shit ads, bam, done. Simple. With all these as well, passive abilities are important. Burning status effect, it'll balance on the gear I'm running. I'll show you in a minute. Just every single passive put on, because there is another one. It's a must you have, is Battle Roar. Must have Battle Roar. If you put this, you get 29 health, 56 magicka and 17 stamina for each point for the ultimate cost. So say I was running low on magic, blah blah blah. If I've got an ult, I'll show you. No, I haven't. If you've got an ult, bam, you put that down. Elemental Rage, bam, sorted, done. You'll get all your resources back, health, magic, stamina, everything back. Just give me 2 seconds. Right, yeah, that's the skills. Now we move on to gear. Gear and potions and food. See, now, gear, like I said, Moon Dancer or Maelstrom Arena staffs. Preferably you want the Maelstrom Arena staff on your Elemental Blockade or Unstable. Unstable only for extra damage, because you get extra damage with it. So if you haven't got access to that, crafted ones will do fine. Julianos, Magnus Gift, anything like that will do perfectly. And I've come across a guy yesterday using the Maelstrom staff, and I wondered why I weren't doing so much damage with it. If you have a Maelstrom staff, do not change the enchantment. Do not do it. Please, for God's sake. If you want extra damage or extra healing, use a potion. Poison, sorry. Use that, use that, use that. I can't go on that about much. He was doing so shit damage, in the end he ended up getting kicked because he's crap. What's the point of having a Maelstrom Arena staff without the Maelstrom Arena staff enchantment that does extra damage for thingy? Elemental Blockade. It makes no sense. Again, crafted, just fine. Then we go on to gear. Grothdar. Grothdar, for me personally, is massive. It's better than Valkynscoria. Much. It hits like a truck. You've got to have it in Divines. If you get in Divines, go out and buy a lottery ticket, because it's so rare to drop. It's so rare. If you haven't seen Grothdar, I'll show it to you once I go through the rotations and all that lot. So, Burning Spell Weave. Must have. Obviously, I haven't got the full set yet. I'm still grinding for it, and it's just such a rare drop. And people, where everyone wants it as well, this is the main magic DPS gear you need now. This is a must. If not, Julianos again will do just fine. So what's so special about this burning spell? Well, you get the same things you do with Julianos, but the 5-piece. The 5-piece is what tears it from the rest. When you deal damage with a flame damage ability, which is pretty much everything the Dragonite does, you have a 20% chance apply a burning status effect to enemies and increases your spell damage by 579 for 8 seconds. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds. Now, if you remember what I said, if you drop that Dragon Standard and a single boss and you trigger this with everything on top of it, you'll be doing ridiculous damage. The damage will be frightening. Seriously, even in PvP, this is hit so hard. It's ridiculous. You need a 5-piece of iron. This is a must-have, best in slot. And purple's fine. Don't get me wrong, purple's fine. But you want this shit in gold. If you don't get this shit in gold, you're going to see a massive DPS decrease. So now we move on to Moondancer. Why is this gear so good? It's quite simple. Same with Ether. You gain Mana Slayer at all times. 5% more damage in dungeons and trials. This tears it from the rest. Why do I choose Moondancer over Ether? Moondancer is easier to get hold of, and you get the extra amount of magic for it. Where if Ether, you get magic damage, which I said before, magic damage is not for PVE. You can boost it 2k, no more than that. Magic crit is what you need to do sustaining high DPS. Magic is where it's at. So, and also with these spell damage enchantments, must have, no doubt. Again, with these weapons, you could have weapon damage enchantment, increases weapon damage, spell damage by 348%. Again, you're looking at spell damage crit, but again, it just boosts it up a little, gives it a bit of helping hand. The food I also run is Double Bloody Mara. This was something that this was the event, Halloween event. This is so good. As well, you don't need vampire for this build, so this still affects. This is just so good. If not, try that food to do just nicely. Imperial stuffed piglet, sounds jank. Bit of pork there. That's okay, but purple is not what you need. This is what you need. Blue, high health, high magicka thingies. I think it's even better. No, it's not. Oh yeah, it is better. Okay, use that instead. Use that. Tri-stat potions if you've got them. If not, normal magic ones will do just fine. Health potions if you need. I just normally sell them because you got a healer. So on and so forth. But yeah, that's that. I will now show you the rotation. Let's head for the beach because I like the beach, even though I hate sand because it just gets everywhere. Right, so we're head out up there actually. Maybe aggro everything. Right, so with this build you need to make sure you block cast. What I mean by block cast is this. Not that. And that. That's how you do it. Like that. That is what sustain a good Dragonite from a bad one. So all these skills, apart from Engulfing Flame, cannot be block casted, or it can. Choking Talons, block cast. Elemental thing, block cast. Shearing Strike, block cast. Every ability you do, a bit like that. Shearing Strike, Flames of Oblivion. Obviously, between all this, you start off with a heavy attack first. They could be block casted as well, like that. That's how you do it. Then, Flames of Oblivion. After a light attack after that. So it should be that, Shearing Strike, that, and then that, Molten Whip. Simple. Just simple. It's simple as that, really. It is actually that simple. Obviously, it takes practice to get used to it, but if you narrow this down, Dragonites are probably single-handedly the best DPS in the game. No doubt. They're just so good at it. And then obviously when you have an ulti, you pop that down before anything. If it's a single boss, Dragon Standard, straight off the bat. Then your rotation. Then, like that. I missed Inhale, like that. Simple as like that. See, I'm still practicing myself with it, but it does take time. It takes time to master. So if you ain't getting it right, just keep practicing. If you've got a sparring target at your house, use that. Just constantly keep practicing. I mean, I've been playing as a Dragonite for quite a while. They were my first ever character on PC. These are my babies, basically. I live and breathe Dragonites. So, like, for example, I'll show you the damage that this does. Look, straight there. Bam, dead. Then Inhale. Bam, dead. That circle that's around me now is Grothdar. Grothdar is ridiculous. I'll show you the Burning Talons where I said it's a good AoE as well. Right, so pay attention to the numbers. 6,000. Bam, done. That's 13k within, what, 2 seconds? Simple as that, really. Oh, there's ads down here. I'll show you the... He's a nice one. I'll show you the rotation. So, heavy, block. Heavy, and like that, dead. Within seconds, he's dead. One ad dead. Obviously, yeah, these aren't very strong ads, but there you go. 11k Molten Whip without Dragon Standard now. I'll show you, I'll get me Dragon Standard. Oh, here we go. A bit more of a challenge. Or not. See what I mean? It hits so hard. If you don't run the build I've told, this guy's struggling, let's go help him out. See, like 8k. Just random. 8k. This is why you concentrate mostly on spell crit. If anything. Spell crit. I'll show you the difference as well between... right, I'll show you one whip. Oh, that's the wrong one. Right, so 7k. Oh, okay. 7k. That is probably the one you want without any self buffs. Also, as well, if you don't want to run Burning Talons, if another tank is not using igneous weapons, in trials, if he's not running it, he's a retard. No, I'm kidding. You just switch out Deep Breath for igneous weapons. then it's practically the same rotation minus deep breath. You just don't bother. Harness Magicka instead of burning talons for trials. Simple. If you're going more survivability, harness magic over deep breath, or deep breath, keep deep breath and get rid of burning talons. They're your two flex spots. Basically, them two are your two flex spots. But yeah, that's practically it, really. And this is the Burning King. I've changed the name. This is the Burning King. This is so good. If you don't run the Dragon Knight with Dunmer, Breton, or anyone like that, then you need your head tested, because these are damage-wise. Again, it takes practice. Don't give up on it. Just keep going, keep grinding. And yeah, you'll eventually get hang of it, and you'll thank me later. And also, I've been doing a healing. I'm doing a healing video next. So if you tune into that, then thank you, I guess. But yeah, that's the Burning King, guys. Magic DK, Homesteads. Homestead's actually not bad than what it was actually meant to be. I'm actually quite surprised with the changes, and it's actually made the game a lot more better and more fun. So yeah, that's the Burning King. Tune into the Saviour, my healer. He's a bit of a hybrid, which I'm very proud of showing people. Yeah, thanks guys, and leave a like, drop a subscribe, comment below if you like this, give me suggestions. I'm thinking about doing Maelstrom with this guy once I get the full set I need. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.